Hey, you guys, it's me, Charmaine, and I have to say, with the virus going on, with the quarantine, I'm noticing that a lot of people are struggling with the overeating and struggling with the snacking and managing hunger. So, as a life coach who specializes in sugar cravings and who specializes in emotional eating, I want to help you not overeat and not over snack at home so you can still stay focused on your wellness goals, whether it's weight loss, whether it's you want to have abs, or if you just don't want diabetes. So I decided to create a brand new series here in my YouTube to help you specifically stop craving food. And this could be any food, even if it's healthy food. I used to snack on nuts like almonds and pecans all the time. So it doesn't even have to be candy. You could overeat any kind of food. So in this series, it's called How to Stop Craving. And I'm going to have a new tool, as many tools as I can share with you so you stop craving foods and you stop wanting these foods that are derailing you from staying focused on your goals. So, a little bit of background because I want to show you that this is something I experienced myself. Um, I am a registered nurse. I do work in a psychiatric hospital, and I've been a nurse now for 8 years. And as I was a nurse, I was stress eating a lot. And this was something I didn't even realize I was doing. I realized that when I was stressed, I would eat for several reasons. There were two main reasons that I've discovered, though. One of the main reasons was that I was eating foods that were not filling enough for me. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about that. So I wasn't eating enough, so I was hungry all the time. And the second reason was because I use food to manage my stress. So this is what I'm going to share with you in this series. I'm going to share with you how your food can be medicine and how you could be more full physically by what you eat. And I'm also going to show you how your stress is oftentimes managed with food. Most of us don't even realize it, and how to manage our stress and any other emotion we have without food. So, I'm going to give you the techniques that help me stop being a serial stress eater. Like, I literally would always eat cereal, cookies, Pop Tarts, a lot of different foods to help me stop stress eating. And I want to help you do the same. So, as I said, as a nurse, I was stress eating for several years, maybe about 5 to 6 years in my work in the hospital. By the way, I'm 30 years old. Most people ask me, how old are you? So, yes, I'm 30. But anyway, so I was doing that. And I also discovered the power of food and eating real food, specifically low carb eating. So, the first tool that I want to share with you that helped me eliminate my cravings, because I did start doing keto in January 2018. So I've been doing keto for over 2 years now. I'm a little bit more on the keto strict carnivore side, so I don't really have basically anything sweet anymore. I just literally can't tolerate it. But I want to share with you how I went from like an ex-carbaholic, I used to love carbs, to not eating sugar, not wanting sugar, and not missing sugar. So, to give you a little bit of context before I begin, I do not drink alcohol anymore. I haven't drank alcohol since Thanksgiving of 2018. I haven't had sweets like baked goods, cake. I haven't had anything like that since May of last year, which is 2019. And so I'm basically like, I just don't miss those foods, and I'll help you do the same if this is something that you want to change for yourself. And I do want to say, if you're listening to this podcast and if you do want to stop feeling powerless against food and stop craving food, you have to make that decision to not want this food anymore. Because I think that's the first step. Like, you literally, like, it's one thing to want to stop eating sugar, but you really have to decide to be someone who doesn't want this kind of food in their life. And so I'm going to walk you through that process. So, the very first tool that I'm going to introduce here, which I think is very important, is what I call the physical check in. So, this involves, first of all, being sure physically that you are okay, basically, that nothing's wrong with you physically. Because before we even go to the emotional tools, I prioritize the physical needs first. Just like Maslow's hierarchy of needs that we learned in psychology, we have to meet our physical needs first. You know, are we safe? Are we in a shelter? Are we eating? Are we drinking? So this is what I call the physical check-in. So the first thing you want to ask yourself is, are you hydrated enough? And this is if you find yourself having a craving, if you really, you know, even though you ate something, or even though you know you had a meal earlier in the day, this is what I call the physical check-in, and it's helped me so much. So you want to, if you have that urge, if your brain is telling you, I want to eat something, you want to check in physically. Did I hydrate today? That means, did you drink enough fluids throughout the day? Did you have a glass of water at all? Like, most of us aren't even aware of what we eat, much less how we drink fluids throughout the day. So ask yourself, am I hydrated enough? And did I eat filling foods? And so those are the two main things I really want you to check. Um, sorry, three main things. One, are you hydrated enough? Two, did you eat filling foods? And three, did you sleep enough? Those three things are kind of like the trifecta of the physical needs pyramid, or whatever you want to call it, the physical needs triangle, like sleep, hydration, and food, nutrition. Okay. In terms of what you drink, how you hydrate can, dehydration can actually look a lot like hunger. It could feel a lot like hunger, like feeling lightheaded, feeling tired, feeling low energy. Those can look really similar. A lot of people can't even distinguish what dehydration looks like versus hunger. So I always encourage you, the first step, if you're craving food, if you want to eat, if you have that urge to go to the pantry, drink some water first and then wait. The second thing is checking in with what you eat. So I actually, as a coach, I do coach clients on how to manage their food cravings, how to lose weight without sugar and flour. And I give them a journal that helps them gain awareness of what they eat. So, awareness is so important if you want to really be free from the foods you eat, because you have to know what you're eating. Here's the thing with food: food is like a pill. And as a nurse, I know this analogy very closely. Um, think of when you eat food that it's kind of like taking a medicine. Every time you eat something, it's instructing your body to take a certain action. So there are always benefits of medications, right? There's always the intended in I was going to say indication, that's like a medical term, but there's always an intended use for the medicine, right? Like the intention that it's for. And there's always side effects, okay? So that's exactly how food works too. It's instructing your body to hormonally do different things. Hormonally just means it sends messages to tell your body to do stuff, okay? So think of food as a pill. Every food that you eat will signal your body to either store fat and be full, or to, you know, oh, sorry. It will signal your body to store fat or to burn fat. Okay. So you have to figure out which foods you're eating that cause you to store fat and be hungrier, or to burn fat and be fuller. All right. So the main rule of thumb I have is that if you're eating carbs, if you're eating a diet that is composed of a lot of carbs, no matter what the carbs are, even if there's sugar in fruits, even if it's stuff like rice, and they're not necessarily processed foods, it could still make you hungrier than foods that have more fat and protein, like meat or avocado. So that's the first thing I want to ask you. How many carbs are you eating? How many fats are you eating? How many proteins are you eating? Write that all down in a journal. It doesn't have to be so macro specific, but you just want to know, what foods am I eating throughout the day? All right. And lastly, how much sleep are you getting? Really keep track of that. Like, do you get at least 6 to 7 hours of sleep? If not, you have to ask yourself why. Sleep deprivation is linked to high cortisol levels, and cortisol, as most people know, is a stress hormone. When cortisol's up from a lot of stress on the body, over time, that can affect your blood sugar levels, and that can also affect your hunger. So we don't want to keep cortisol up. We want to keep our blood sugars low. If your blood sugars are high, your appetite will go up, and it will also cause you to gain weight. So you just want to keep your cortisol under control, and the easiest way to do that is by getting enough sleep. So again, ask yourself, am I hydrated? Am I fed? And am I getting enough sleep? So this is what I call the physical check-in. It's the first most important tool of this How to Stop Craving series. And if you have checked all those boxes, like if you know that you're eating enough high fat, high protein foods, you don't have sugar or flour, maybe you've been doing keto also, and if you know for sure that you're hydrating enough with enough water, um, at least like I don't want to give a specific number because everybody's body type and height and weight are different. But if you know that you're not thirsty, that you're not dehydrated, like an easy way to tell that you're not dehydrated is if your urine is clear and yellow, like light yellow, not the dark yellow, okay? And I'm a nurse. I talk about poo and pee all the time. So anyway, are you dehydrated? Are you fed? And if you got those two checked off, and if you're getting enough sleep, then you could move on to the more emotional tools that I'm going to share with you in this series. So check that out. Take care of yourself physically. Get that under control, and then I will share with you how to manage cravings with your mindset and by managing your emotional self-care. All right, you guys, so thanks for tuning in. Thanks for checking out my first video in this series. I will do my best to keep it as concise as possible, but in this episode, I just wanted to give you a little bit of background of who I am, what I do, give you a little context that this was something I was going through before too, which is why I want to teach you guys how I got through all the stress eating, all the cravings on my own with the tools that I'm about to share with you guys. All right, guys, so if you want to stay in touch with me and if you want to make sure that you know when a new episode is out, be sure to subscribe to my channel and to click the little bell so you could get a notification whenever my new episodes are out. Okay, you guys, thanks so much. Check me out on Instagram.com/sugarfree.selfcare to see my posts. All right, I'll see you guys later.